Howdy, I'm Cyberox with Outlandishly Crafted, and I'm part of the Lazy Ninjas. We've been playing Halo since the original Xbox. We did LAN parties. We've been gaming together since for 25 some years plus. Um, and one of the first videos I uploaded to YouTube was 15 years ago. We remade Headlong. Um, because even back then MCC or 343 was just being a joke, and the team was just ridiculous. So we put together and went into Forge and tried to do the best we could to lay out an actual Headlong map, which is our favorite map. We used to just have so much fun on Headlong and Halo 2, and they refused to ever bring it to 3 or do anything more with it. So we tried our best to plan out all the routes and do everything the same as best that we could with the limitations of the blocks. I bet we could probably do a little bit better today. I think the limitations are a little better, but I wanted to do this video just to talk about, how sad it is that 343 is just destroyed Halo. I mean, it's really Microsoft. Microsoft took what Bungie did and said they wanted to do something else. They wanted to make it COD, or they wanted to make it um, a different game, just adding running alone and or sprint, and they've just successfully ruined it. And if you ruin IPs, over and over, which they've done, they're doing to Halo right or to Minecraft right now. You would think that those executives would get fired and removed from the company and not be able to continue to ruin these IPs and continue to do this stuff. Instead, they get rid of the project managers or the people in the middle, but not the people that are actually making the poor choices and ruining the IPs and doing the damage that's being done. We used to play Halo daily, and now we play PUBG because Halo is just such a shit game. Infinite's just a garbage dumpster fire. Hit detection, you just go right through people. There's no collision on the actual players anymore, which is like just a basic concept of meleeing someone in the back or doing assassinations. It doesn't function right because the desync's so bad. And I mean, I'd rather go back to peer-to-peer servers and go back to the old days instead of having, cloud servers and all of this shit. With the performance we had back then, it was way better than it is today. So you just see over and over Microsoft, from Windows 11 to Minecraft to Halo to countless other IPs, is just failing. And it started with, oh, they wanted to be Apple and they wanted to be Call of Duty, or they wanted to be Battlefield, or they want to be someone else. They always want to be someone else. Microsoft executives are not ever happy being them. And the problem with that is because Microsoft used to be a platform builder. They used to make a platform so others could succeed. But then they got greedy, and they weren't happy enough with being the platform for others. They wanted to be the one succeeding and getting all the glory. See, when you're a platform, you don't normally get the glory. You don't get the people focused at you saying, "Oh, how wonderful Microsoft executives are." Instead, you get good products and you get software that works really well, and that's where we got Macromedia, and that's where we got things that actually were amazing, like Flash and all of those techs that were made 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden, you notice how we haven't had any more tech? WebP is one of the only new formats we've had in almost 20 some years. We're still using PNG, we're still using TIFF, we're still using JPEG, we're still even using GIFs. We have no innovation going on. We have no leadership, no creativity, and that's why you see all these IPs are just trash. That's why you see the people that are running Microsoft are chasing, and they're not leading. They're not building a platform for others to lead. They're not building something so you and I can create something amazing on top of it. Instead, they're fingering everybody and everything and making life horrific. They're abusing all of us. from Windows 11 to just the countless, endless abuses from. I mean, look at Halo 5, Halo Infinite, and the amount of just horrible things that they put into these games and they've done with these games. And all they needed to do was leave it alone, add some maps. Most of MCC was Forge maps, and we hate them. We hate them so much. They're trash maps, and you force them on us and force them on us. You refuse to add anything else because your dev team isn't able to. You don't have the skills or talent to match Bungie from 20 years ago. What? That's how bad it is at Microsoft and 343 Studios today. Think about the recording system that Bungie put in so that you could go through and do this. Look how amazing this is. 343 is not developing or inventing or making new tech or making this better or easier to use. They're removing it from MCC. They're removing the in-game editor or the video editor on Xbox. So the guy that did this was doing it on his Xbox, and he can't do it anymore because they removed that from the Xbox. They removed it from the features. So in 20 years, we have a quarter of the features we used to have. The systems are thousands of times more powerful, and yet because of the DEI hires at Microsoft and 343 and the failures and the constant failures and the constant accountability and the executive teams not being fired and removed, and they keep profiting more and more and more all the time. They just keep making more money, and yet nothing. Name me a good game from Microsoft. I mean, even their own flight simulator had horrible issues on launch recently. How are the executives making the decisions for this stuff not being fired? And it's not just Microsoft. You see it in, how about Star Trek, and how much of a dumpster fire Star Trek's become. How much of a dumpster fire Battlefield was this year. It's across the board, and in almost every situation, it's a manager or executive that's forcing these things on the developers and on the community, and they don't play the game. These executives don't play the game. They came from some investment world. They came from Hollywood. They came from stock trading. They came from biotech. And, it's good money to be at Microsoft and to be in the game divisions because they make good money. And so they come over here and they take their bullshit and they shove it on us. And over the last 15, 20 years, they've successfully ruined everything about the industry gamers love. They've ruined everything about Hollywood that the entertainment industry loved. And they have successfully destroyed the entire industry and the IPs to the point where great companies like Ubisoft are collapsing. Bethesda's collapsing. 343 is already collapsing. They tried to rename it, but they still have the same scumbag people involved that are doing the same horrible things. So at what point, one, do the investors say this is a deliberate attempt to collapse these industries with DEI, and fire all of the DEI teams? And anybody that was hired by a DEI team needs to be fired and replaced with the best of the best. I've called multiple times over the last year for Mojang's entire team to be replaced and fired. Mojang has failed miserably so many times. They put a patch out that deleted players' worlds on their own systems. They had Realms down for almost a week for 100,000 people, paying customers that had the servers down. Even Twitter hasn't been down for a few hours. Twitter cut its staff by 90%, and everybody in the world says, it's going to not run anymore. Well, you know it didn't run? Mojang's Realms, that's what didn't run. They didn't run because the staff there are incompetent. And the executive teams that are forcing the choices on those staff are incompetent. So you need to replace the entire line of all those people involved, and they should be blacklisted, and they should never, ever be allowed to be involved in any IPs again. They should be kicked out of the industry. They should not be allowed to touch this stuff. They are toxic, and they have ruined the greatest IPs in the world that we've ever seen. Halo was the #1 FPS. It has less than 3,000 people playing. What? Add-ons in Minecraft have more people playing them right now than are playing Halo. Why? Because the executive teams at these companies need to be fired and removed. They are not gamers. They are not people that care about the game. They don't care about what's going on. They don't care about gamers. What do they care about? We don't know because we don't have any interaction with them or can't hold them accountable or talk to them. The developers are the only people that we have any interaction with, or the Discord people who just kick us from the Discord servers if you say anything negative. And so none of the gamers have a feedback loop other than making videos like this, calling you douchebags out and asking, why are these people still in charge? Why are these people still allowed to do this? This is the biggest good old boy scam network of scumbags we've ever seen for 2 decades. You've allowed these people to ruin these IPs and to ruin the daily gaming and entertainment of 100 million to 500 million people across Steam and across Microsoft and across consoles and across the world. You've ruined this IP, and there's got to be millions of player hours that you've ruined, costing countless dollars. And when we ask for accountability, the accountability we get is a name change. The accountability we get is, a developer or a lead leaves, instead of the executive teams and the people at Microsoft that have ruined Halo and ruined these IPs from Skull and Bones to Assassin's Creed. You could just continuously name off every IP that we've loved over the last 25 years has been successfully just bent over and screwed. I mean, Indiana Jones series couldn't have asked for any more screwing than Halo has gotten. You took what they did to Indiana Jones and you 10x'd it in Halo. You've taken Halo and ruined it to the point where you aren't even willing to put patches into MCC anymore because MCC might be better than what you're going to bring out in the future. It's not just incompetence. At some point, this is deliberate. At some point, these executives are deliberately trying to ruin these IPs. Are they getting money from somewhere else? Are they on the take? Are they being blackmailed? Or are they just fucking morons? How about Microsoft stop putting morons that aren't gamers in these positions? It doesn't seem like they're able to, because it's a good old boy network. So once you're in the good old boy network and you're friends with one of these people, you're stuck in there. That's it. You're in there for life, it seems like. It's almost as bad as the government, where now you just have a free ride, and it doesn't matter how many IPs you destroy. It doesn't matter if you're Abrams and you take Star Trek and you destroy all of Star Trek to the point where nobody wants to watch it, nobody wants to talk about it, nobody wants to play the games, nobody wants to be involved in it. We are so done with Star Trek because you destroyed it. And at every point, when we spoke up and said, hey, these people don't like this IP, these people aren't even involved in this IP, these people have no idea about these IP, why are they being in charge, why are they being given control of it? The executives said, we think it's a good idea, we think this is great, yay, they're gonna make $1 billion. Now, those executives, why aren't they blacklisted? Why are they still allowed to be in the industry? Why are they still listened to? Why aren't their names scrolling on the videos and on every day scrolling of these people are the ones that ruined Halo? These people are the ones that ruined Star Trek. These people are the ones that ruined our gaming experience to where most of us now struggle to find a game to play. And if we find a game to play, it's probably 10 or 15 years old, and it probably hasn't been touched much by these studios and has just been left alone. It's disgusting. And the fact that it continues to happen, and we continue to get Assassin's Creed, continue to get even down to the Madden bullshit and FIFA bullshit, that's a whole nother nightmare. And then we get like Concord, and then we get, but we know that it's possible to make good games because you see them. You know, we have the scale of like Baldur's Gate, and then we have what they did to Neverwinter Nights. And so, yeah, between live service hellhole and them just destroying it and making it a grind fest to where it's the only game you can ever play. You can't play any other game. You can't have a life. You can't do anything else if you want to be successful at this game at all or play with your friends or do anything. All the way to Baldur's Gate where, hey, you can have a good fun time and spend lots of effort into it and really invest into it. And there's all these pathways and there's all these things to do. It's a glaring difference between those two. And yet, the executives that keep making this trash that nobody wants to play aren't being fired and blacklisted and held up as examples of the worst way to do it and how not to do it. Instead, the good old boy network just covers it up and hides it and says, "Oh, it was a project manager. Always the project manager that ruined Halo. Let's get rid of that guy." But we all know when you guys removed Bungie, the executive team, flat out said that you didn't want anybody that liked or enjoyed or loved Halo. That you wanted to go a whole new way with it, a whole different direction. So the executive teams and the people that made those choices, have they been held accountable and removed from all game development, all game interactions, all executive interactions at Microsoft because they failed for 2 decades and ruined IP after IP with their failed ideas and their failed goals and their failed plans that nobody wanted to buy, and they made super enemies out of countless super fans. So you had countless goodwill, you had countless people on your side, and you converted them over 2 decades to people that hate you, that hate your IP, that hate what you stand for, hate what you've done to the games that we loved and cherished and spent our childhoods in. And you're still doing it. Your DI hires at Microsoft and Mojang are doing it to Minecraft right now. And when we speak up and say, whoa, you're doing the same thing you just did to Halo and to Rainbow Six and to, geez, how many other games, you attack us and you call us toxic and you send your drones in the community out to come after us, to get us to leave the industry and to go away while you're collapsing and destroying another billion-dollar IP. You would make more money and do better if you fired your entire executive team, took the haters that you're trying to get to go away and hired them as the executive team because they're the ones that actually know what the fuck is going on and what the gamers want. One, because they're your customer and the executive team isn't your customers. They don't play your games. They don't like the games. Most of them are old or DI hires that you just put in there because they're good old boys and, oh, they're really popular in Hollywood or they're really popular in the stock trade. They made lots of money as a stock trader. That takes so much skill. You really got to know what you're doing as a stock trader, and that's transferable into the gaming industry as an executive. Bull fucking shit. 2 decades have proven that you were full of shit. Fire those douchebags, get them out of the industry, blacklist them, and finally start putting the people that created the industry back in those places. You know, the people that made Half-Life mods in the good old days, when we were doing dial-up. You know, those people that made the first gen of good stuff that you've demonized, and now they run their own studios because working for you at Microsoft in these big studios is so abusive and toxic, and the failure rate is so insane that they can't stomach it. Yeah, those guys. Maybe you should crawl on your belly back to them, plead with them to take over these IPs, give them full control of them to go back and make wonderful, excellent games gamers enjoy, and fire the factory studios that make trash. They make trash. There are more people playing Minecraft add-ons on Bedrock than are playing Halo right now. Think about that. There are more people in Minecraft playing add-ons that are made by a 16-year-old in his basement than are playing Halo that cost $400 million. Why? Because the executives at Microsoft have destroyed it. And until they are fired, they're going to destroy Minecraft like they're doing now with Marketplace and the toxic development team and the failure after failure after failure, forcing TS and JS down our throats as add-on developers. The choices they're making is insane. And once again, most of those executives don't play any of these games. And if they even went to their kids and said, hey, we're going to do this to Minecraft, the kids would be like, are you stupid? But they don't ask their kids for questions. They're good old boys. Good old boys don't do that. They light up a cigar, they have some whiskey, and they just talk in their circle of good old boys. That's how good old boys work. They don't care about gamers or anything else. So until those good old boys are removed and fired, and the DI hires that were brought up in this horrible last 4 or 5 years of nightmare are fired, and the best of the best are rehired, the best of the best being the people that actually love and play these games and know what the hell they're doing and don't fail constantly, I don't think there's any hope. I don't think there's any hope for Halo on Unreal Engine 5. Not at all. Microsoft and this team can't optimize their own engine to make it just function in a 4x4 4 versus 4. We could do dial-up peer-to-peer and do 4 versus 4 in a fucking Unreal Engine 5 template. I could go get a template. I actually own a template for this. I could load up a template and we could have 4 versus 4 that would play better than Halo right now. What's Microsoft? What is this team going to do? They're going to go out there and make some phenomenal Halo Unreal Engine 5? They can't even optimize it in their own custom-built engine. How are they going to go do it in Unreal Engine 5? Tons of teams struggle to optimize in Unreal Engine 5. But this team all of a sudden is going to be successful now. Now that they're going to be in a different engine, they're going to be successful because now we can get the talent for it. It's not the talent that's the problem. It's the DI hires that you're hiring. You're not hiring the best of the best. And it's the executive teams that keep shoving these bad decisions down their throat until you fire and blacklist these people and get them out of the industry. This cannot get better. It's that simple. We need to have a house cleaning of all of these people that have failed us, go back through all their comments, all their decisions, all their choices for the last 20 years, and all of them that don't have a higher than an A rating, 90%, 92%, depending on what fucked up school you go to, they get fired. And we put in people that do succeed and do know what they're doing and can make good games And then I bet you see a whole different decade of gaming all of a sudden. I bet you see game after game that you enjoy coming out, and game after game of good stuff you actually want to play every week. Until then, there's no hope for Halo. It's dead. There's no hope for Star Trek. It's dead. I'm a double lifetime member on Star Trek Online, and when the Kelvin timeline came out, I mean, I've been playing Star Trek Online for 15 years on PC and console. I maxed out both of them. I really like that game, and they ruined it. They ruined it. Ruined it. The Kelvin timeline, this whole bullshit J.J. Abrams nightmare destroyed Star Trek. The entire IP of Star Trek is just a joke. I gave away all my stuff and I haven't played since. They ruined it. It's a joke. The executives at these studios destroyed it because they don't care. And when they destroyed it, did you think they're fired? Do you think they got blacklisted and said you should never work on an IP again? No, they're still there. They're still in control. They're still making those choices. And until there's accountability and these people get kicked out of the industry, I don't think that anything else is going to get better. I don't think Star Trek's going to get better. I don't think that they're going to apologize to the fan base and they're going to remove the Kelvin timeline and they're going to reset and they're going to go back and do a Next Generation 2. Nope. I don't think so. So, this has been my chat on Halo and the current gaming at Microsoft, at Mojang, at Ubisoft, at countless, until executives pay the cost and executives are held to account for bad choices and their decisions. We're not going to get good games. So I'm CyberX with Outlandishly Crafted. If you like and subscribe, do all that bullshit so YouTube overlords stay happy. They aren't gonna spread these videos out. Nobody sees this shit because they, you know, yeah. So, is what it is. Thanks for watching.